This is your news bulletin from Power 102 Digital.
It is Friday, the 15th of November, 2024. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. This is news to 6 a.m. on News Power Digital. In setting up a special police task force vetted by the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration, the DEA, which will receive confidential information and intelligence in an effort to dismantle transnational crime and gangs, is one step closer to reality. An MOU was signed by Denise Foster, the special agent in charge of the DEA's Caribbean Division, Minister of National Security Fitzgerald Hines, and U.S. Ambassador Candice Bonds yesterday, November 14th, at the office of the Transnational Organized Crime Unit, an elite unit of the police service, which has a long history of collaboration with the U.S. agencies. The signing ceremony was not open to the media, but the U.S. Embassy offered journalists a brief interview with Denise Foster ahead of yesterday's signing. Foster, who oversees several DA offices stretching from Puerto Rico to Port of Spain, described the MOU as an historic event. She said the DEA has been here for 20 years and has partnered with the police force in Trinidad and Tobago. So that this MOU is coming from its Drug Enforcement Administration working with the police service. It's an historic event, and this is where it's coming from. It's a step forward in a long-running partnership in the fight against crime. Economist, attorney at law, and former deputy governor of the central bank, Dr. Terence Farrell, is advising the nation to face the realities of the economy at this time and ensure productivity, innovation, and creativity, and becoming less dependent on oil and gas and the energy sector as the main income earner. Dr. Farrell cited Singapore and Barbados as two countries, in spite of their limited resources, that have been able to be competitive by using what was available to them through discipline and focus. He suggested policies be put in place to get positive adjustments, which will have the effect of changing behaviors, resulting in an increase for foreign exchange. Dr. Farrell also cited the importance of having incentives for businesses to boost their exports. Economist Dr. Roger Hussein does not believe the devaluation of the TNT dollar will have a significant effect on inflation. He shared his thoughts yesterday on the Power Breakfast Show. Finance Minister Colin Imber said there will be no devaluation of the TNT dollar, as this would not increase the availability of Forex and increase inflation. He insisted all devaluations would do is cause a massive spike in the cost of living and make everything more expensive. The International Monetary Fund recommended the TNT government should allow the dollar to float freely, which would result in an immediate devaluation of the TNT dollar. Dr. Hussein said he reviewed the increases in inflation rate in previous years, and there was no significant fallout. He acknowledged the economic situation in the previous time periods, as he referred to, was significantly different. However, he stated that policymakers concerned with the unemployment rate that convinced them the economy could not withstand a devaluation. A police officer was forced to shoot at two suspects who attempted to break into his home. That incident occurred around 2 a.m. Tuesday in La Joquita. The 55-year-old officer told investigators he was asleep at his home when he was awoken by a strange noise outside his bedroom window. He then pulled the curtain to see what was happening and observed two men in his yard. One of the men was said to be inside the officer's Hyundai Accent motorcar, while the other was standing nearby holding a firearm. The armed suspect turned around and saw the officer and reportedly shouted, "Pull back your curtain, or else I will kill you." The officer drew his personal issued firearm and shot in the direction of the suspects. The two men fled the scene. The vehicle then rolled down the road and ended up in a nearby drain. The officer called for backup, and officers from the Northern Division responded. Crime scene investigators recovered 10 9mm shells at the scene. In news of the region, the Pan American Health Organization says approximately 5,100 people die annually in the Caribbean, from HIV-related illnesses. Wednesday said these facts form critical areas for discussion at the regional workshop, United Science and Communities to Accelerate HIV Response in the Caribbean. And finally, India's capital, Delhi, and its neighboring cities are experiencing pollution levels that are at least 30 to 35 times past the safe limit recommended by the World Health Organization. Every year, Delhi and northern states battle hazardous air during the winter months of October to January due to plummeting temperatures, smoke, dust, and low wind speed. Vehicular emissions and crop stubble burning are the main causes. This time, the experts say the conditions are likely to get worse in the coming days. And that is news to 6 a.m. right here on News Power Digital. We'll have major news coming your way at 7 a.m. Good morning.
Up to date and credible. Power 102 Digital.
Morning neighbors, and welcome to the Power Breakfast Show on Power 102 Digital, with studios at 88 to 90 Abercrombie Street in Port of Spain. Thank you so much for joining us. Of course, we'll cast in this morning. We just heard from Dr. Paul Richards. We'll hear from Wendell Stephen, Richard Ragoobarsingh. We got Ruben, and we got Shane in the mix. Of course, my name is Steve Khan. 25 degrees at Piarco International Airport, 26 at Crown Point in Tobago. And let me just check to see if the Met Office updated. I checked a while ago, they did not. And they still haven't, but yesterday, they said today, let's see. Okay, yeah, they didn't do anything for today, so we'll figure it out. All right. Traffic-wise, I've got one accident to tell you about. It is on Chase Village on the Solo, and it is northbound. All right. Apart from that, I got nothing really to tell you about. I did see a little bump accident on the Beetham this morning, but they pulled to the side immediately, so that was good. So good morning to you, Paul. What's happening?
Good morning, Steve. Good morning, Wendell. Good morning.
Morning, Wendell.
Good morning, Paul. Good morning, Steve. Morning, Richard. Morning, Trinidad and Tobago. And good morning, listeners and viewers. Who is having a Sahara this moment there?
Yeah, Paul is having a sinus issue this morning.
It was fine until 5 minutes ago. I don't know what happened.
I think I know what it is.
I know what it is too. But
that's all right. It's Friday. Drop a roti by Rumbox and you're good to go today. Yeah, nice little beastly cold rude boy.
Never had a rude boy.
Half your life missing it. That's really? That's the favorite drink now of almost everybody, especially.
Is it alcoholic or non-alcoholic?
It is alcoholic. There's a original, there's a mango and passion, and there's a extreme. Well, the extreme is extremely extreme. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I don't drink energy drinks and
it's not an energy drink.
No, but I'm just saying in general.
Yeah. It's a drink with honey goat weed though.
That explains a lot.
So just know what you're gonna be in for after.
That explains so much.
Well, it depends. You may not. It may not have any effect on you, especially if you.
Let's say good morning.
Because maybe I'm a horny goat all the time.
It could be that you already have it in your system. It could
exactly.
Because I sniffle sometimes. Of course, you'll know that. I suffer with my sinuses.
Mm-hmm.
I realized this morning all my devices have a different time, including my two phones. One is at 6:14 right now. The other one is at 6:11. My computer is at 6:12.
We care about this because.
Huh?
And we care about this because.
No, I don't know. It just happened.
We really don't care,
I didn't reset anything.
But we don't care.
You may not care.
It's not important to us.
A lot of people sign on to this show because of me, right?
Just to hear that all your devices are different times.
No, just to hear me. Just to hear me. Just to hear me. And you'll see all of them putting in the chat just now. That is so.
That the information at all your devices on different times is critical to them at this time.
No, that they on this show just to hear me.
Good morning to Brent Hackshaw, Wendy and James, Maria Seeley, Oliver Man, Warren. Morning to you, Ollie. Good morning to David Wares and Cheryl Wares. Good morning. Michael Mapp, you went missing for a while. Godzilla and Valente. No, Godzilla is where? Out in Baltimore. Oh, you're going up there. All right, Garth. Wayne Bennett in Covington, Georgia. Gloria Gray, Anthony Tinto out in Ontario, Canada. Brenda Isaac, Michael Robinson in Yokohama, Japan. Carol Guevara, Lisa Devines, Rennie Devines. Any relation? Good morning to you all. Of course, on WhatsApp, we have Captain Ron in San Francisco this morning. GNC Auto Security. We have David Nelson. And I have no idea who this is. Okay. Yeah. So good morning to you all. Thank you so much for joining us.
I think Renee and Lisa are husband and wife. I'm trying to find my birthdays for today.
Say happy birthday going out to Vaughn Drayton. It's his birthday today.
All right.
Happy birthday to you, Vaughn. Hope all is well. I have some others, one in South Africa, one in Toronto, one in New York. Yeah.
All right.
Calvert Gabriel, good morning. Cohen Duke, good morning. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a good idea for a poll this morning, gentlemen. Is that idea? I see a discussion happen between the U.S. Embassy, U.S. and Trinidad and Tobago concerning the vetted unit. Remember that was proposed at one point in time. You have a real bad poll.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, they spoke about a vetted unit. The Prime Minister raised that at one point in time. I saw that a discussion has taken place concerning that. So maybe we could poll it today. Today's Abeo Jackson's birthday. Happy birthday, Abeo. Abeo used to work right next door to us. Remember in 94? She was in 94.1 on the morning show at one point in time. Keith Burton also celebrating his birthday today. And yesterday was Maurice James's birthday. Everybody know Maurice?
Mm-hmm.
And also Sir Charles's wife, I think is his wife, Danielle Davis.
Oh, really? Okay. Happy birthday to you, Danielle.
All right. They all celebrated
as well. I have a good poll too, you know.
What is that?
Who you think will win the big fight on tonight?
Oh, yes. What time is that fight? I wanna
it's
see.
On Netflix, starts at 8, which is 9 o'clock our time.
All right.
At the AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Jake Paul or Mike Tyson?
Well, I see Tyson in the face of hit the man a slap.
Yeah, that's just a pre-thing.
I guess so.
Tyson will win that, man.
I'm not too sure. One is getting 40 million, the other one is getting 20 million.
20 million.
So both of them guaranteed of a huge payday.
Yeah. I think Mike Tyson is getting the 20 million.
Yeah, Mike is getting the 20, naturally. Yeah. He is 57 years old. Jake Paul is 27. Imagine that. That's a 30-year difference going in a boxing ring today.
I'll be watching that.
Let's also start with some good news.
Sure.
Reality is Trinidad and Tobago, Janelle Thongs.
What is this?
Trinidad and Tobago, Janelle Thongs.
This lady almost broke the internet yesterday.
I'm not seeing this. What is this for?
So this is the Trinidad and Tobago representative at the Miss Universe pageant in Mexico presently.
Mm-hmm.
So congratulations to Janelle Thongs. She won Miss Congeniality, one of the precursor titles up for grabs at Miss Universe. So she's brought home one title from that competition. And of course, there has been quite a bit of controversy surrounding her
Really?
The choice of her as Miss Trinidad and Tobago representing us. One, because she's full-figured. She's not your typical skinny model type. She's a very attractive woman. You understand? Mm-hmm. But she is full-figured, and so a lot of controversy over whether or not she should have been the representative. And two, because of some of the choices of clothing that they sent her with. But
yeah, her dress.
Yeah. Not one dress, a couple of the outfits they sent her with.
Mm-hmm. Of course, Miss Universe is on the 73rd Miss Universe pageant is carded for tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Interestingly enough, Miss Universe this year has, for the first time, a transgender person, full-figured people, and mothers competing.
Right. Yes, they allowed that for the first time. Yes.
Yeah.
Where is it being held?
Mexico.
Mexico.
So congratulations to Janelle Tongues. Thank you for putting him up again.
Trinidad and Tobago, Janelle Tongues.
That's perfect teeth, right?
What? Sorry?
Teeth. That's perfect in that picture.
She's a beautiful woman. You know?
Yeah.
She's just not your typical skinny model type that we usually send.
Yeah.
You know? So.
Because they showed you a lineup of all the girls and them coming up the morning, and then they showed you her. And because I was wondering where the video was going, you know. I saw somebody made a comment, you know, and then when I saw, I said, "Oh, okay." But I think they were more how should I put it, critiquing the dress that she wore as compared to what the other girls wore, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That was the critique. But yeah, I don't fuss about these things, you know. To each his own.
Well, the young woman put herself out and is representing Trinidad and Tobago, so she has to be commended for that.
Yeah.
And clearly is doing some sort of good work because she won one of the titles, the titles, you understand?
But that would be like who's the friendly,
the friendliest and the most congenial of everybody.
Yeah. I could see Trinidad and Tobago winning that all. We won it with Penny, not so.
A couple of times before, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, what else is happening in the country?
Well, protests, postal workers intensifying their protests. Flood victims, still there's an argument over how many victims already. I find that's a stupid argument.
Did you hear the interview with Dr. Roger Hussein yesterday?
No. With you all? No, I didn't listen to you.
Professor Hussein said yesterday, and Steve can correct me if I'm misquoting Professor, that he thinks that the government will wait until January 1st to initiate more effective crime measures and economic policies because it's the cultural start of the year, and they'll wait until that time to change things for the better.
So what informed that?
I don't know. I think it's such a ridiculous prospect that a government in power 9 years will wait for the next 6 weeks to initiate measures to fix crime. I think it's such a ridiculous
statement like that.
A feeling.
Okay.
That a government in power 9 years will say, well, you know what? Let's wait till January 1st to put in new policies to fix crime.
As if people will forget that those things used to work long time, you know. That'll work again.
But the thought process that a government will wait because it's January 1st to ramp up measures to fix crime or parts of the economy, to me, it's just a ridiculous prospect.
It is similar and akin to the government waiting till the election is announced before they start paving roads. Isn't that what people say all the time?
That's true, though.
Yeah.
But they don't wait to start paving roads. They ramp up paving roads leading to election.
Yeah, exactly. Always.
And that is true.
But that'll work again.
I'm not saying it work. I'm saying they do it. It's two different discussions.
Yeah.
I never said I don't. But me don't know if it work. Maybe it is working some areas. I don't know. Maybe somebody's gap and see the road paved and say, "Oh, God, I'll go vote for them."
I'll go vote. Oh, please. 20, 30 years.
I'm being ridiculous, of course. I'm being sarcastic.
I know. But maybe people did at one point in time. maybe you did sway votes by paving roads at one point in time, but I don't know that works anymore.
Well,
so to wait for an election to fix crime, I don't know that will work.
But he didn't say. But why? But just the thought process involved in that. They under pressure. People slamming them, business slamming them for not being able to deal with the crime effectively, and that you would wait until January 1st to initiate. What?
Well, what will they do different?
And why would you wait?
Yeah.
So you wait for it to get over 600 bullets and then initiate things? How does that make any sense? And I guess Professor Hussein must know where his thought process is with that.
Okay. I didn't listen to his interview. Sorry.
You ain't really missed nothing.
Okay.
To be very honest.
Well, as I say, unless if he's referring to this same issue of the vetted unit, I don't know, because that is coming on stream. But that was spoken about for a little while, and apparently work was taking place in the background, and we didn't know. So it says here, the United States and Trinidad and Tobago governments are pressing full steam ahead with the establishment of a vetted unit for the TTPS. This follows the signing of a MOU between National Security Minister Fitzgerald Hines, U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration Special Agent Denise Foster, alongside U.S. Ambassador Candice Bond. It comes more than a year after Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley announced the unit's formation, which will identify targets, collect evidence, share intelligence, and facilitate prosecutions through both the U.S. and Trinidad and Tobago judicial systems. So, unless that's what some people might be referring to, but this has been proposed a little while now, but the work has to take place for it to come to fruition. So I don't know. This is something I supported then, and I will support now. You understand? The police service can't fix the police service. They can't fix this country. They need external help. You understand? How the vetted unit will work, well, time will tell. You understand? But the usual suspects don't start. Police Welfare Association President ASP Dixon questioned why cops were being singled out, describing Rowley's comments about corrupt police officers as reckless. Yesterday, when Guardian Media was invited to speak one-on-one with a DEA agent on the vetted unit, little information was disclosed. Asked how much the U.S. would invest financially and the number of police officers expected to be vetted, Foster, who's in charge of the DEA's Caribbean division, divulged little. As far as the numbers, not really prepared to talk about that. What I can tell you is it will be at a value for the police department and for the country. Now, how is that not good news? When we know the problems we have in here, and we know the TTPS incapable of fixing it, in my opinion. You understand? How is that a bad thing? But I guess everybody going to politicize it. You know?
Anytime you're talking about cleaning up police corruption, the usual suspects that jump out and go into defense mode.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
As if we can no corrupt police, or it's not extremely pervasive.
Yes.
Okay? They want to live in La La Land.
I shared a story. There's a story recently about a police officer in, where's the place, Steve? Can I send it to you all this morning? In Spain. They arrested him with $21 million hidden in his walls. Guess he was the head of the fraud squad in Spain. You understand?
Oh, yeah. I saw you said that, but I didn't open it up.
$21 million hidden in his walls. You understand? So this ain't happening only. It's pervasive, you know. Police officers worldwide are corrupt because they have that power to change your life, to arrest, make or break you. A lot of them are corrupt, and a lot more are getting corrupt every day. And it's not just people in high ranks. There's a lot of people who now go in the service too. They get corrupted. You understand? So we ought to fix it. We alone can fix it, but the police can't fix the country. They can't do nothing about crime in this country until they fix themselves. Until they fix themselves. I'm seeing a story here, though, about an incident at the airport between...
with the immigration officer and security.
What happened there?
That's all I know. And then he went through, he showed his pass, the immigration officer, and then the security came behind him and put him on a headlock.
What?
There was an altercation.
Yeah, in view of everyone.
Wow.
The joint chambers called on the government to urgently take action, whatever is necessary, to immediately resolve the ongoing industrial action causing chaos at the port of Port-of-Spain. Chambers.
Know your place. Know your place.
Wait, no. I'm not playing hammer through. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Port people gone on strike.
Yep, it's a normal thing.
So they can ensure that they get a little bribe.
A little more. You had to rhyme it.
Yeah, you had to rhyme.
We know what you mean.
Every year.
Oh, God.
Every year, between November and December, like now, port workers' grievances get to a peak.
Yep.
So that container and barrel backup. So who want it? Hey, meet me outside. Are we talking? Not so?
Yeah.
Why are we surprised? And every year you could pick up a news story from last year before 5 years ago that will indicate that every year around this time, port workers is going some sort of action. Am I wrong? Am I imagining this?
And of course, postal workers to intensify protest action today.
You spoke a while, Wendell, about police corruption. And you're right. You know the corruption nobody to talk about that we seem incapable of fixing?
We talk about it. I know where you're going.
You see customs and excise?
Yeah.
And port?
Yeah.
Good morning, Ragoobarsingh.
Good morning, guys, and good morning to our listeners and viewers wherever you are.
You see customs and excise, which
morning.
is a law unto itself in this country. Customs and excise like the Vatican, you know.
Yeah.
They have real power.
That is a state in a state, you know.
I remember we championed the cause on the show for them to start using cards, because they are, at one time in time you could only go with cash down at customs, you know, to clear something, you know.
You are right. You are right. There was a time there was only cash.
Yeah, it was only cash. That amount was determined by that person examining your goods, you know.
Yep.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
Yeah, there was a time when I used to...
Port workers going on strike.
I used to go and play it myself. In fact, I felt I could have gone for a broker's license. I became so good at it. Because you started to understand
that years ago.
Yeah, you started to understand the process and who you actually have to deal with. But you're right, Wendell, you had to get cash.
You had to have cash.
Yeah, it was always an inconvenience.
So let me ask you something.
Because if you don't have enough cash, you have to go back and get it and fall back in a line. You know?
You have to go and find an ATM.
Yes.
And come back, you know. Because you're short $10, you know.
Yes.
You mean you're short $10 on the invoice?
Well, no, you're short $10 on whatever they're charging you.
You mean you're short $10 on the invoice? Hint. You mean you're short $10 on the invoice?
We all know what it is like.
If the invoice have $1,300 in it, you better work with $2,400.
I will never forget the time Martin Joseph, God rest his soul, he is, as Minister of National Security, brought some things in when he and my sister went shopping and they buy some stuff for the house. And he came back. And Martin decided Wendell, yeah, transport. I say, well, yeah. I say, but you Minister of National Security, you have so much transport at your disposal. Yeah, brother man, get your truck and let me go up. And two of us went up ourselves to the port and clear them things. And it was jumping through hoops. We sit on there for about 3-4 hours, you know. And
The
everybody
bench.
watching him,
Skate on the bench.
they doubted his eyes, the minister sitting on there, you know. But they watching him and they ain't saying nothing because he don't want to help from none of them. Trust me. You understand?
You forget the whole area with the warehouse.
Yeah.
The forklift just miss everywhere and hit the scanner.
Mm-hmm.
And the CCTV camera and if you think police body cam bad, that is only last 2 months, you know, when they put it up. Port, customs and excise, and port is a state within a state.
Yeah.
That's like the Vatican in Port of Spain.
Yep.
Not even police could go in there. And you know why it stayed that way for decades? Why you think? Because big shots benefiting.
Yep.
Because big shots benefiting and will continue to benefit. So when the strike done and people a little desperate to get the goods in stores for Christmas, what do you think gonna happen? With the line. If I is number 75 in the line and I want to get to number 20, what do you think I have to do?
You gotta call somebody.
You have data to back all of this up, sir?
Yes.
Or is this speculation on your part?
It's probably from experience.
No, this is the same thing you would tell anybody or like Lincoln or anybody you call in. You have data to back that up?
True.
Or you're just speculating?
I speculated that every year there's
you're speculating.
I speculated every year there's one strike just before Christmas. That's a speculation.
You're speculating then.
Okay.
Because you're making implications, suggesting implications of bribery, etc. in the business class. That's what you're seeming to suggest. So and if you have evidence of such, Senator, report it to the police.
Aye.
I'm giving you your answer. That's the answer you give callers. A lying, Wendell?
No, you're not. No, you're not. I tell you, we all have our experiences, you know. It's not easy, you know. But I understand where Paul is coming from.
Or you live in La La Land and pretend, or you don't know what happened.
I understand where you're coming from, but I
you
understand.
live in La La Land and don't realize, I've said it in and out of Parliament. Customs and excise have it down to a science. It's an algorithm sometimes for corruption. They're doing it so long, they have it down to a science.
Yeah, I mean, a lot has changed there because it was really bad.
The barrel shop has improved significantly.
Yeah, it was really bad.
It's no longer the big hot shed. It's now a more organized process. But that doesn't mean they will see corruption.
You will still see somebody get pulled aside, especially women. They get pulled aside, and you see them in the corner shooting with somebody, and next thing they come back, hey, that barrel there, go with that.
Do you have evidence to support that? You have evidence to support that statement.
I say that for spite.
Do you have evidence to support that?
Oh gosh, that's sweet, yes.
And as I told you, who is going to gather the evidence? Police can't go in there.
Sure.
Police can't go in there. I've asked several here. I said, how I get that is the law.
But a police badge don't mean nothing in there either, no?
Don't mean nothing in there. I report police for. They have their own system of understanding what coming in and what to search and what not to search. No, that one good. That one, no. Let me search this one. That one good. That container nothing in it. Boy, close back that. What happened to you? Somebody come in for that later. I wrong?
I frightened the answer, yes.
Thing that's coming with name, number, address, with gun and drugs, and nobody associated with it coming.
That is not mine.
Okay, well, I don't know how that gets in there. Anywhere else when you lock up. here, your name and your address and your ID card number. But I don't know how that got there. That's not associated with me. Steve, open the phone line up, please. Please.
We can do that. You know the numbers, 222-8255. North Americans, 866-525-1099. Of course, those in the U.S., today is National Clean Out Your Fridge Day. So they say. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Not just that, Paul, but you could say, well, the chicken is mine, but I don't know not muddy jugs. And the media could start to make excuses for them and say, well, it did have some parts in Jamaica that the container passed, and so they have a plausible explanation for how the drugs may have gotten into the container. Media make excuses for them. Man could say the chicken is mine, but the drugs is not mine. I don't know not about the drugs, and he never see it inside of a prison, much less inside of a police station, much less a prison. Anywho, what I'm really calling about, gentlemen, I don't know if you all spoke about it. I don't remember. I think I watch this program every day. But the Guyanese Prime Minister is making a ramp on social media of raking his ministers and public servants and contractors for poor performance. I haven't heard you all speak about that at all.
Yeah, I got your videos last night.
I see that, and I say you can't get more arrogant than that. But maybe his constitution allows it.
Is it Ghanai's Prime Minister or President?
President. Ghanai's President.
President, sorry.
I give him right.
But his constitution clearly allows it.
I give him clappers all the way, right? And I hope it's not just performance in front of the television. I hope that thing. But we need something like that. Maybe not publicly. Maybe not. I wouldn't support it publicly because he really.
Who going to do that here, Rich? Lincoln, who going to do that here and get you to support it?
Well, I never say maybe I don't support it publicly. You can't embarrass the ministers and them publicly so. But some form of accountability needs to happen in this country. You can't tell me projects has been going on. The creek is still finished. 20 years now, the creek is finished, Bill. The alleged highway to Togo is finished. Do nothing on that still going on. And so much other projects that we could talk about that start and incomplete. And no, the contractor is going to blame the government for no money, and the government is going to blame we're going to have a long. But we need if you want
to compare apples and apples, could you imagine, just for one moment, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley summoning a meeting of contractors, engineers, permanent secretaries, ministers, and doing anything like that? Just imagine that. And imagine what will be said.
He is already called a tyrant and a bully and a raging bull out of control for simple statements that he made. Imagine he using that kind of tone with that would be a frame.
Dr. Oli have a different level, a different kind of tone, right? When he ready, right? So you could imagine him talking to people so. But they crucify him there on the spot.
I still support accountability and transparency.
Yeah. Right? Look by Shagornas to Chase Village. How long the building in the middle there? Every time I pass, I have to go there today. I don't see anything happening.
Well, to be fair, they ain't level the road yet, but they're building up and I see they're coming down further. They're doing some work. My question is how are they going to deal with the bridge over Shagornas itself? Because without widening that, it would still be a bottleneck.
Yeah, that's a bottleneck there.
It will still be a bottleneck before that to get past that bridge before you get into the wider road. So I don't know how they're going to deal with that.
Yeah, but southbound, if they decide to widen that bridge southbound, there's a building right next to it. I think it's a hospital, a private hospital.
There's a space between the two bridges that they could build up and make the road, right? But I guess it could be done.
Can I think that your talents are wasted? You're a security expert. You're a structural engineer.
I am somebody who I think was blessed with common sense, and I watch patterns of how things happen in this country, and I formulate opinion based on history. That is all. I don't have any masters or bachelors or nothing like that.
God, the police service didn't take you, so you had time to look at things.
Yes, yes.
The man serving the military, you know. The man serving the Trinidad army, you know.
Let me tell you, Paul, I have no regrets of where I served.
You're still blank, you know.
The only thing I have a problem with is that I would have made more money in the police service than in the military.
Oh, don't say that, boy.
Well, legally,
you mean you would have been? You mean your salary would have been higher? Don't say you would have made more money.
Well, okay, let me say politically correct.
Yes.
You see the extra duty money for that party the other day. You can tell me why it have 4 or how much ever, I don't remember the accurate figure, ACP and senior superintendent of our party. You know what ACP position is supposed to do in the police service?
They were paying for that. Them fellas don't show up. You know much?
Exactly. You know what an ACP position is like administration.
Mm-hmm.
What you doing in getting pay over time for a party? Because ACP is supposed to be out there doing that. ACP is supposed to be in an office doing logistics. What you doing getting paid for a party? And for all, yeah? The most senior rank supposed to be out there as sergeant.
Lincoln.
Yes, for?
She gone and he gone. Let it go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right.
All
right. Our lines are open. 222-8255.
The Guyanese constitution clearly allows for the president to do what he did.
And he locked the gates. That meeting was supposed to start at 5:30. He told them at 5:30, close the gates.
What's that Richard saying?
Our president has different powers to...
Yeah.
Their president is much more the head of state in a very...
They have more of an executive president.
They have an executive president.
Very functional and operational and really has the power more than the prime minister, I think.
Yeah. So he could do that. And
their presence
I
is
have
the
a
person
problem
running
with
the
him
country.
doing it.
Yes, basically.
Yeah, their presence is the person running the country. They're totally different constitutional arrangement.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So he actually has the power to hold them accountable. But I have no problem with what he did because
I have no problem with it.
Because one of the things he said is that they're turning up for check, but they're turning up for meeting for accountability.
Yeah.
And he was very upset with that. He said, they're not here. Okay, all right.
He was also buffing the public servants for inviting contractors that didn't need to be there.
Yeah.
He said, but why you here? What are you doing here? You understand? And he was buffing up the permanent secretary also too.
Yes, also.
For apparently not issuing contract letters.
Yeah. We have a call, gentlemen. Good morning.
Morning, gentle people.
Morning.
Welcome back, Dr. Paul Richards.
Good morning, thank you.
How was the stay in Australia, man?
Very good, thank you.
Nice. Question here. When something happened in England with the cameras that they have, they are sold people. I remember an incident where 3 girls went to a dance session or something like that 2 months ago. And they had rioting and all that. And they could have held all the persons who riot. Trinidad and Tobago is just a dot on a map. When crime take place, I'm sure the parents, some next of kin, watching this, the Prime Minister deemed them, him some pimps committing these foolish acts. Nobody comes forward. Everybody know who the criminals are, and nobody ain't seen nothing. A man get caught on camera recently in Aruka. I watching that. And a woman opened the door for him to come outside and all that. I asked myself, this is Comedy Central? This is Comedy Fest for free? The man take his 38 special, rested on the counter, went outside, get a bag, came back, and filled the bag with a host of items that he didn't pay for. I'm asking myself, is this a real country? Is Trinidad and Tobago a real world? It's unbelievable. Things happen in England and they're holding people. And we ain't holding nobody here. Something has to be fundamentally wrong. That's what I wanted to say this morning. Have a nice day, gentlemen.
No, but that video by now, I think they would have held that guy. That guy had on no mask, nothing. He was clearly easily identifiable.
Yeah, you had very, very good footage of him. Yeah.
Yes.
But that was a strange video, though.
It was.
It was strange.
It almost looked like...
And I don't think he left the gun on the counter and went out, you know. If you look carefully, I think he takes back up the gun and puts it in his pocket. And then goes out, gets it back, comes back in. And it almost seems as if the girl was just handing him, saying, here, take it, take this too.
The last,
you want Yorker Blue? Take that. You want Yorker Red? Take that. You joined with Absolute Vodka? Take that. That's how it came across.
The last bottle of scotch couldn't even fit in the bag. He leave it.
You have to leave it. That's how it came across. It was like, what, is this real? You know, but maybe she was, I mean, obviously she was, I assume she was terrified. If it's real, I'm assuming she was terrified. She was just like, you know, my life more important than anything you want, yes. Take. But it did come across strange.
The guy though looked spaced out. He looked like he on some serious job.
You have papers, Ragoobarsingh?
No, all I have is the Guardian, the digital version.
That's a good way to put it. All you have is the Guardian.
Yeah, all I have is the Guardian.
All right.
In our chat, Paul, Steve provides us with the digital Guardian every morning.
It's Friday, the 15th of November. Let's start with the Express. Horrific end to search for Jamie. The search for 41-year-old Jamie Mohammed, the Sipari woman who vanished the night of October 18th after leaving a bar. Her body was found in a cocoa plantation. Really tragic.
Really? Oh my goodness.
Cop shoots and chases off home invaders. Penal Debe flood cleanup continues. Bail set at $0.3 million for Trotter's robbery suspect. Colm Imber, credit card usage up by 50% over the last 5 years. Ministry lowers some traffic fines and demerit points. Changes have been made to the Motor Vehicles and Road Traffic Act, with some offenses seeing lowered fines and demerit points. The changes gazetted on Wednesday, an order cited as the Motor Vehicles and Road Traffic Amendment 9, Schedule Number 2, Order 2024. So we could go through our data on this morning.
Yeah, I'm interested to find out.
Yeah. Venezuelan electrocuted, and the TNT and US signed partnership to tackle crime.
All right, I could do the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian. Of course, today is Friday, November 15th, 2024. So we are bang in the middle of the month. The main headline, as the Guardian, on the front page of the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian, stop fanning flames. Unions issue warning to business chambers amid worsening port protest. TNT signs MOU with US to support new police vetted unit. South residents continue to count flood losses. And the main picture is that of the postal union, members of Trinidad and Tobago Postal Workers Union, marched from the TT Post Arima branch to Tunapuna branch yesterday to protest the unfulfilled promise of a salary increase after a 2011 job evaluation. So you're having some disturbance from the postal workers as well. And moving on to the sports pages, Windies lose T20I series. That's the headline on the back page. And actually that's the main headline on the back page. You have a quote, "This is not going to be an easy challenge, but it's a challenge that I want not just for myself, the public and the players to take on, because I think as a nation, if we all pull in the one direction, there is no reason why we cannot be successful. We did it in 2006 and certainly can do it for 2026. Dwight York, new senior men's national football coach." So that's it for the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian this morning.
Let's move to the news day now. DEA, National Security, signed MOU to set up vetted police units. Dr. Maldinats use Exim Bank window, structural approach on Forex. Alderman rejects claims by Siparia Mayor. San Fernando twins with Point Fortin City for celebrations. Imber credit card spending up by 50%. Ex-transport minister stands by 2015 deal, give port workers a 12% increase. What I want to say about that on here. Minister, Penal Derby Regional Corporation chairman clash over impact of flooding. And police investigating death of teen found dead in Brazil. Man accused of robbery at Trotters granted $300,000 bail. And anyway.
300?
That is why the police keep complaining about the judiciary all the time. Anyway,
But
those are stories trending in
murder
US
getting
started
less.
on Tuesday.
What the hell is this?
See, you go out on bail and rob somebody again. Allegedly.
Well, there was so many of them involved. They only held one person.
652. You're right. My computers are now behind too. One of the computers. Steve, the results of the poll yesterday.
Yeah, where we asked you, would you agree with a social media ban on minors until the age of 16? 69%, 69, said yes.
I don't know how that's supposed to work.
The question this morning I'm suggesting has come from the MOU signed between the Ministry of National Security and the DEA to set up this vetted unit in the TTPS. So
you suggested it? I suggested.
He said they suggested poll. He didn't say my suggested poll. Both on this snacky this morning.
No, I want credit from a poll.
No, he just see poll. He want to grab poll.
Yes, I like the grab poll.
He can't see
especially on a Friday.
So Wendell's poll is, and it's a little unusually long to be Wendell's poll. Do you think if vetted unit will make a difference in the effectiveness of the TTPS? This poll is not usually that long, but
it's Friday, so give me a little time.
Today.
It's Friday.
So do you think a vetted unit will make a difference in the effectiveness of the TTPS? That's our poll this morning. What says you, listeners and viewers across TNT and across the planet? Do you think a vetted unit will make a difference in the effectiveness of the TTPS? 222-TALK, 222-8255. North Americans, 866-525-1099. That's absolutely toll-free to you. People on the streaming platforms, you can send your votes via the messaging portals located there. And if you're watching us on M&E TV and, of course, listening to us on smart devices, you can WhatsApp us at 318-1021. We're taking votes all around. Do you think a vetted unit will make a difference in the effectiveness of the TTPS?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what is the vetted unit supposed to do again? Just remind us, please.
What is supposed to do? Let me find the story first. Hold on.
And Captain
Ron says no.
And just in case you're foreigner and you don't know what TTPS means, it means Trinidad and Tobago Police Service.
Let me get this story first. So.
I think the unit that even out police officers who they are sure are not involved in corruption, that will go after criminals and not have their intelligence and operations compromised. I think that was the general gist of it. Not so?
Right. So it will identify targets, collect evidence, share intelligence, and facilitate prosecutions through both the US and Trinidad and Tobago judicial systems.
All right. So Alan Reese said yes. Boswell John says no. Royalty Forever says no. Lester Craigwell, no. Wayne Bennett, yes. David Nelson, no. Junior, no. Vincent in Birmingham, UK says no. Jaron Joseph, no. I did Captain Ron saying no. Right. Royalty Forever says no. I did that already. Wayne Bennett. Beauty Culture says yes. Julia S. Batiste says no. Johnson Noel says yes. Michael Robinson says no. Kenny out in Harlem says yes. Alistair Hart says yes. Andrew Renu says yes. Good morning. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, gentlemen. Sandy Grandino.
Radio. Carl M. Jack, who's in Baghdad, says no. Slick Money Grip, yes. Strong says no. All right. Do you think a vetted unit will make a difference in the effectiveness of the police service? Yes or no?
Former Commissioner Gary Griffith described it as welcome news. He said it should be bereft of political interference, which he alleged occurred in other police units. U.S. Ambassador Candice Bond said it would also empower Trinidad and Tobago's law enforcement to operate in partnership with U.S. security agencies at an unprecedented level of professionalism and expertise.
Will Candice Bond be here after January 6th?
No.
January?
No, in transition, she will leave.
Eventually, I think she will. She will. But
Nielsen John says yes. David Ware says no. Gloria Gray says no.
You ready to fire people quick, boy?
No, asking a question, sir.
No, she'll be changed.
Yes, Mr. Trump. You know that.
You never know.
So do you think a vetted unit will make a difference in the effectiveness of the TTPS? That's our poll this morning. What says you?
Michael Mapp says yes. You have 2 minutes again to vote. Roger C. Wing says no. Eve out in Sugar Guanas. Morning, Eve. I have to go Sugar Guanas for lunch. Well, I pass on my you for lunch. I have to go lunchtime to Sugar Guanas. But Eve says no. Miss Ingrid in Tucson, Arizona says yes to the poll. All right, did that.
So do you think a vetted unit will make a difference in the effectiveness of the TTPS?
So how they're doing this vetted unit? They're going and they're identifying people and then screening them?
I would imagine.
Like polygraph and all of that?
I would imagine they would do it the way I suspect the US wants it done. You understand? And not the way we do it here, or we have done it here.
How have we done it here?
But we did it.
Any more votes?
No.
As we head to about 7 a.m. this morning?
No.
You check WhatsApp? You check that and go to move.
Yeah, there. Oh, yeah, look in there.
CJ New York says yes. Anthony Miguel says yes. Michael out in London says yes, yes, yes.
I think this is like almost the last hurrah for the TTPS.
What happens after they close down?
It can't be.
I tell Richard, Richard, do you remember more than 15 years ago, well, more like 18 years ago, on a program, Gladiator was proposing for the whole top echelon of the police service to go home, and I supported him.
Mm-hmm.
That was back then. He says, send them all of them. They're no good. And you know, when somebody calling and disagree with him, you used to press the button. So next, hang up on that person. Oh, why do I remember Gladiator like that?
All right, well, let's head into our major news. Evie is in.
This is your news bulletin from Power 102 Digital.
National Security and DEA signed MOU to set up vetted police units. 3 suspects in Diego Martin double homicide captured. Joint Chambers tells government to take action, urgent action to resolve industrial action at the port. And cleanup work continues in several areas affected by flooding on Wednesday. Details in a moment. This is News to 7 o'clock on Power 102 Digital. I'm Avril Sintil-Bob. Good morning. The setting up of a special police task force vetted by U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration, which will receive confidential information and intelligence in an effort to dismantle transnational crime, is one step closer to reality. A memorandum of understanding was signed by Denise Foster, the special agent in charge of the DEA's Caribbean Division, Minister of National Security Fitzgerald Hines, and U.S. Ambassador Candace Bond on November 14th at the Office of the Transnational Organized Crime Unit, an elite unit of the police service, which has had a long history of collaboration with U.S. agencies. The signing ceremony was not open for media coverage, but the U.S. Embassy offered journalists a brief interview with Foster ahead of yesterday's signing. Foster, who oversees several DEA offices stretching from Puerto Rico to Port of Spain, described the MOU as an historic event. She said officers applying to be assigned to vetted units would be recommended by the police hierarchy, and once they succeed the vetting process, they will be trusted members of the task force that they are putting together. 3 suspects allegedly involved in Wednesday's double homicide in Diego Martin have been captured. The suspects were apprehended during a coordinated operation executed by the Office of Western Division. Between 6:30 p.m. on November 13th and 1:30 a.m. on November 14th, officers from the Western Division Gang Intelligence Unit, Western Division Task Force, and West End Criminal Investigations Department carried out a targeted operation under the leadership of Senior Superintendent Williams. During the operation, officers acting on intelligence proceeded to Covine Road, Diego Martin, where they apprehended a male suspect in connection with a recent homicide at Quarry Street, Diego Martin. As the investigation unfolded, officers acted on further intelligence, recovered an abandoned silver wagon vehicle in Boiler Trace, Cameron. The vehicle contained evidence critical to the investigation. The officers quickly proceeded to Upper Rich Plain Road, Diego Martin, where they arrested 2 additional suspects. One of the suspects was found in possession of a 6-saw pistol loaded with 9mm ammunition. According to police reports, around 6:30 p.m. on Wednesday, 13th November, 3 individuals were liming near a mini-mart located on Hilaire Street, Diego Martin, when a silver Nissan 80 wagon approached. 3 armed male assailants exited the vehicle and opened fire on the group, then quickly fled west along Hilaire Street. 3 men nursing gunshot wounds were taken to the St. James Infirmary to seek medical attention. However, 2 of the men succumbed to their injuries. The deceased men have been identified as 27-year-old Calvin Levine of Green Hill Village, Diego Martin, and 26-year-old Alphany Rahim Elogon of Savannah Road, number 1, Diego Martin. The 3rd man is presently in stable condition at hospital. Economist, lawyer, and former deputy governor of the central bank, Dr. Terence Farrell, is advising the nation to face the realities of the economy at this time and ensure productivity, innovation, and creativity, and become less dependent on oil, gas, and the energy sector as the main income earner. Dr. Farrell cited Singapore and Barbados as 2 countries, in spite of their limited resources, who have been able to be competitive by using what was available to them through discipline and focus. He suggested policies put in place to get positive adjustments will have the effect of changing behaviors, which will result in increased foreign exchange. Dr. Farrell also cited the importance of having incentives for businesses to boost their exports. He was a guest on the Hard Talk program on Thursday.
But our businessmen make money because the incentive structure that the policymakers have put in place encourage them to make money in precisely that way. We need to put in place an incentive structure that encourages them to, in fact, go out and export. And we have had the exporters that we have here, the strong exporters that we have here. Interestingly, all of those guys started their businesses in the 1980s when we were flat on our back, so we didn't have foreign exchange. And they looked to the export market very early on.
The Joint Chambers calls on the government to urgently take action necessary to immediately resolve the ongoing industrial action causing chaos at the Port of Spain. It claims the lack of affirmative action on this matter is leading to a national crisis at a time of year when the volume of shipments is at its highest and makes it imperative the port operates efficiently. The Chamber claims the extensive delays at the port are negatively affecting port revenue, vessel bypasses, increased detention fees and haulage rates, delivery of raw materials for production, and the cost of production and of finished goods. The group warns ultimately the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago will be severely affected by the failure thus far to come to a timely resolution. It has observed a trend of industrial action leading to port disruption on Wednesdays, the day immediately prior to restocking at the port, which occurs on Thursdays and Fridays. This has the effect of exacerbating an already unsustainable situation that is crippling businesses of all sizes and delaying delivery of Christmas inventory. It said, quote, significant economic constraints, particularly the growing challenges in the availability of foreign exchange, makes it imperative that we do not continue to compromise the national supply chain, as this inhibits our productive capacity and ultimately deters our ability to generate export revenue and impact the livelihoods of employees and their families, end quote. You are listening to news on Power 102 Digital to 7 o'clock. Cleanup work continues in several areas affected by flooding on Wednesday, according to the chairman of the Penal Devi Regional Corporation, Gautam Maharaj. Speaking with the media on Thursday, the PDRC chairman said most of the floodwaters have gone down and a level of normalcy is slowly returning to affected communities. He says special transportation arrangements are being made to accommodate the elderly to get medical attention and appointments. However, Chairman Maharaj admitted there are pipe-borne water challenges and the situation is also compounded with the shutdown of the Desalcott plant since November 11th to do maintenance work.
We had water in the pipeline last night into this morning, and that, from the informal information I have, will be rerouted to the Barrackpore area. That is WASA's internal scheduling. What we are working on right now is an arrangement to have some trucking in place, but we need some ministerial support for that. We are doing some innovative solutions at the moment, though, of coming up with putting some smaller tanks on some pickups and see how we could get the cleanup efforts and the potable water for members who need that. Food stuff we are getting from sponsors, cleaning agents. We are making a call to corporate citizens to help us with that.
Well, finally, here's weather news for the period today till midnight. Trinidad and Tobago, partly cloudy spells with a few showers will interrupt otherwise hot and sunny conditions. There's a low to medium chance of isolated heavy showers or thunderstorms. Please note that gusty winds are likely in or near heavy showers or thunderstorms, and street or flash flooding are likely in areas so prone. You can expect a temperature high of 34 degrees Celsius at Piarco International Airport and 33 degrees Celsius at Crown Point in Tobago. Currently, it is 26 degrees Celsius at both localities. Recapping your headlines to 7 o'clock, National Security and DEA sign MOU to set up vetted police units. 3 suspects in Diego Martin double homicide captured. Joint Chamber tells government to act urgently to resolve industrial action at the port. And cleanup work continues in several areas affected by flooding on Wednesday. I'm Afril Sintelbab. That was news to 7 o'clock on Power 102 Digital. Look out for more news in detail at 12 noon and an update coming up at 8 o'clock this morning. For more details, log on to power102fm.com.
Up to date and credible. Power 102 Digital.
Alrighty, thank you so much, AV, for our major news. You can join her again come 8 o'clock for our news brief. All right. All right. Let's take a look what's happening traffic-wise on the highways and on the byways. Let's see if that accident is cleared up. Let's take a look and see. That accident was by Cheese Village. It's telling me it's still there. All right.
Paul, did you start taking ashwagandha like I told you to? You can either take it in the capsule form or the powder form.
What is it for?
It helps with stress relief, energy, sleep, everything, and it'll help build the immune system too.
What's that? I lost it for a second.
Ashwagandha.
Oh.
As I say, you can either get it in capsule form or the powder. With the powder, you could put it in anything you're drinking: water, coffee, anything, juice. Let's take a scoop of the powder and put it in there.
How has it helped you?
I'll have to show you.
No, thank you.
See what I mean? so
right,
then let's take it there.
All right, I got some more votes coming in. I got CJ from New York saying yes. Anthony Miguel saying yes. Cheryl Childs, no. Anthony Tinto saying yes. Jean Clark saying yes. I have Gary and Mova saying yes. Right, that's it. Of course, our morning poll this morning. Do you think a vetted unit will make a difference in the effectiveness of the TTPS?
Yes or no? Where's Richard? Where did he go to?
Well, there are 34 people who voted on the poll in the allotted time. And of the 34 people, 17 of you said, but actually it's a split. 17 said yes and 17 said no. It's a 50% split straight down the middle. One of the few polls where it's actually even. So 17 said yes and 17 said no. So obviously public opinion is split on this microcosm.
Testimony to Wendell's poll.
Do you think a vetted unit will make a difference in the effectiveness of the TTPS? Of course, you can continue to vote on this poll throughout the day, through our programming, and we give you the final result on Monday morning, because you know what? It's Friday. The weekend has begun, people. Believe it or not, to put a smile on your face. Isn't it fantastic? The weekend is here. So enjoy it, whatever you're doing this weekend. But come Monday morning, we will give you the results, the final results of the poll for this morning. One of my suggested polls, maybe for next week, at some point next week, is whether you think that under the guidance of Dwight York and his team, do you have confidence the Trinidad and Tobago team will make it to the World Cup 2026?
Yeah. We can poll that next week.
Yeah, so we can take a little sport poll. We don't do sports polls often.
Yeah, we might have to regurgitate this story though, because by next week it may not be a story, but we could do that. We could do that. Oh, West Indies got me so vexed last night. Oh God.
You still watching that?
Yeah, I don't have nothing else to do. What am I to do? And it coming right before the news there, so I watch it and then I watch the news and then I went back to it and I binge watch CSI Miami and Criminal Minds. That's what I do. No, I binge watch those two and Law and Order. Those are 3 programs that I binge watch all the time.
So several of the traffic offenses have been reduced from $1,000 to $500.
Which ones?
And if you go through that list, 3 to 2 demerit points.
Give us some ideas now of what have been reduced, please.
I'll graciously send it for you and you can read it.
All right.
Well, you don't feel like reading this morning?
No.
Are you in that kind of mood?
You don't want to use.
Say it. Don't stop. Don't stop, Wendell. Don't stop. Why stop now? Why stop now?
Why take it so long to come?
Because some people like it that way.
Nobody likes it that way. They pretend. Anyway. Oh, Jaron, you did send it. I didn't know.
Something wrong with you. I'm sure I think so. You have been so scarred in life, right? You have been so scarred.
All right. Where am I finding it? There's too much reading, Paul.
What I tell you,
That's too much reading. Send
Send
it for Richard. Richard will figure out what part to read.
Yeah, I'm not going through that this morning. It's Friday. I have too much work.
Failure to return an invalid disability parking permit to the licensing authority is $500. Failure to display a disability. Okay, I don't need to read this.
I never even saw anybody park with a disability sticker.
I've never seen a disability park.
Never.
No, not here. I know where I go. Covern have one, Over have one, Gershwin have one. So we park anywhere. I don't know how they get that.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Gershwin say apparently having a small issue. It counts as a disability, so he cool with that.
So then you could get one then.
Well, I don't know. Is there one in between? I don't know.
Maybe you could get one for your disability.
Oh, listen, I can't figure out what they reduce here, Paul.
But you want me to go through it, right?
But you the lawmaker. I don't know what they do. What
the law finished making my role done.
Let me see. Jaron sent me a more comprehensive thing that actually
that's what he sent.
Oh, Jaron sent that for you too. Okay, all right, okay. Well,
shall we open the phone lines, Jen?
Well, I thought it was an article in the newspapers, you know.
No, it's the actual list from the court, I guess. Motor vehicles and road traffic.
It's the legal notice.
Amendment. I'm gonna send it in our group chat, and so you could. You maybe Richard, you could decipher.
Ragoobarsingh has it. I sent it to him.
Oh, you did. Okay.
Let him use his legal expertise and read through it and take out what he needs to take out.
What was 1,000? What was 1,000 and what is now 500? Because I pay 1,000 yesterday.
And what was 3 demerit points and what is now 2 demerit points? Those are the major changes in some of the laws. All right, 222 talk.
Another trending story, just bubbling under, is the issue of the alleged assault of the immigration officer by the airport security guard in the airport.
I referred to it, but I didn't read the story.
Yeah, and the Estate Police Association apparently is supporting their colleague, and of course the immigration department is supporting theirs.
Naturally.
So I don't know what's going to be the outcome of that. I don't know if the immigration officers are going to protest or something. I don't know.
Yeah. The only thing I don't know is why the officer did that.
Which one? The airport authority officer?
Yeah.
Well, the chief immigration officer has issued a notice to members of his staff expressing great distress about an incident between an immigration officer and an airport authority security guard, which left the officer beaten and bruised. The notice was issued yesterday and was meant to be confidential. However, a source in the Immigration Division gave details of the notice, which highlighted what Chief Immigration Officer Mary Roseanne St. Hill Billouin described as an ongoing escalation in aggression by airport authority security personnel towards immigration officers on duty. The notice addressed the physical attack on Immigration Officer 3 as part of a concerning pattern of confrontations. Police said the immigration officer who supervises the 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. shift presented his ID through a glass partition following standard procedure. After complying, he reportedly turned to leave to take up his shift, but a security officer allegedly followed him, placed him in a headlock, and forcibly restrained him, all in plain sight of scores of travelers.
Just so?
Yesterday, the chief immigration officer extended best wishes to the affected officer. She also underscored the need for a safe work environment. The chief immigration officer also assured staff that investigations are ongoing, pledging that this matter will not go unaddressed. Efforts to contact the chief immigration officer were unsuccessful yesterday. On Wednesday, immigration officers who spoke with Guardian Media claimed the incident was the latest in what they called an ongoing pattern of aggression on the part of the airport authority security. Some immigration officers also warned of possible disruptions to airport operations if their concerns were not addressed. However, the State Police Association President Derek Richardson insisted that a security officer acted within the bounds of airport security protocol. Our officer was there for access control, exactly as directed, and footage will show that he followed procedure, Richardson stated. He noted that the officer was following instructions to manage access, explaining this was not a case of aggression. The security officer was simply doing his job as prescribed. The matter is being investigated by both the police and the airport authority. That sounds very strange. Sorry,
a big
part
of that story missing.
Yeah, that sounds very strange, because even if you are doing your access control, monitoring, or whatever you want to call it, how can it result in an immigration officer in uniform being put in a headlock in the sight of passengers who come in and say, "Oh, there's a real two airport boy. Look, the security and immigration."
And somebody must have filmed that.
You understand? Seriously, State Police Association. That's the protocol you all have. Put him in a headlock, even though he's in uniform.
Yeah, that
in front of everybody.
Story missing.
You
know what the part of the story missing? The part where it said, "Boy, you are a little petty little security guard, boy. You can't stop me from here, boy. I will lock you up and I will." That is the part that missing.
Yeah, but how did it escalate into in front of passengers?
As I was saying, a part missing. A man can't just be walking away and you walk behind him and headlock him.
No, maybe you're right. Something missing inside that story.
No, plenty missing.
But even if, guys, you take the issue of the immigration officer out of the equation and say it was a civilian, as the protocol?
Yeah, that can be the protocol.
That can be the protocol. Yeah. Even if
put somebody in a headlock.
Yeah, you put somebody in a headlock.
I have met some really pleasant airport security officers there, but sometimes you meet some with a little attitude.
In
where
every sector, you meet somebody who want to do what they want.
Yeah. You meet people some like that, but most of them I've met, they are very pleasant. You understand?
I never see people have attitude. I go with my usual smile and say, "Hi, how are you? How can I get to whatever point I'm getting to or whatever I'm asking?" I never assume you have attitude. And if you have attitude after I'm very pleasant, then I will adjust.
Yeah, I try to engage people all the time. I try to engage people in a light moment, and I know a few of them. So the last time I traveled, which was 2 weekends ago, one of them I know well. So he pulled me out. He said, "Nah, you come out of that line, come so," and big hug and thing, So I don't know. This is a very strange incident.
Are you saying that he gave you preferential treatment?
Yes,
absolutely. Just like what senators get from time to time.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
Thank you, Richard.
Say no, then.
You see why you have to remain
actually, what happens is that some senators have protocol officers who guide them through the process.
He's coming out the VIP lounge.
Please be guided accordingly.
He's referring to being escorted out of the VIP lounge and up front. I've had that done too.
Up and past the encased automated passport reading machines that have been there for years and not in use.
Not in use.
Yeah. Let me read something for you all, goodly gentlemen and people. Minister of Finance, Colm Imber, has said that credit card usage is up by 50%. He was citing information he sought, and he said credit card usage and spending have increased by 50% in the past 5 years. He said this was information he sought himself as he continued to look into TNT's foreign exchange issues. He said he asked to meet with the main commercial banks 2 days ago and had done so. He said he had a belief that credit card usage was one of the things behind the country's Forex issues. Now,
yeah, I don't want us to go cashless, or you don't?
It's not that, is these statements are clearly in response to what has become, in my opinion, a crisis in the country. Some mightn't call it a crisis. I say when it get to the point that banks, ordinary citizens, businesses, conglomerates all crying about Forex without any resolution past increased US dollar earned revenue for the country, you understand? Or commensurately reduction in consumption patterns, it is not going to end anytime soon.
Yes.
So my question is, because this Forex chorus is intensifying week by week, yeah? It's not like in the past where it come up and then die back down.
Yeah.
Are you agree? You understand?
Yes. I'm surprised FCB and RBL Republic Bank can make a statement yet.
As I said before, they're both FCB state and Republic Bank Limited the state has a significant share in it. So they may have some.
But when Nigel Batiste was here, I remember I asked him that. I asked him whether Republic Bank had any intention, and he said not at this time.
He said not at this time. But not at this time could change next week, depending on the change in the environment. So the question is, do you all think that it is a significant enough issue affecting the country that it becomes an election issue?
I don't know, because you encourage us.
I'm asking a question.
No, I hear you, but so I'm saying I'm giving my 2 cents to it. You encourage us to go cashless. A lot of people now, I think, have trusted and they have more access to credit cards from banks and so on, right? A lot of people, more people. Why is that a bad thing? Why is that making it out to be like a bad thing that we have increased our use of credit cards? That's a good thing to me, in my opinion.
Well, the use of credit cards being increased is twofold. One, credit cards can be used domestically with TT currency for local goods and services.
Right.
And credit cards can be used for foreign purchases with the use of US. His contention, the Minister of Finance, is that it is one of the issues behind the Forex shortage in the country. So that implies it is on the US side and the Jordans on the US side that he is making a case for in terms of the Forex shortages in the country. But you're right. At the end of the day, there are several reasons for it, but the minister, seemingly to me, I could be wrong, keeps having to come out and defend and proffer reasons for it. When the main reason for it is we earn less Forex and we spending more.
Yep.
Supply and demand.
What Grenada doing to earn Forex? Why is it not a problem in some places?
Well, when you're asking a question that's based on the foundations of the economies of these countries, our energy sector is our largest, or has been our largest Forex earner. That situation, we know what it is. Less production, commodity prices issues, energy commodity prices issues. They may not have those issues in the tourism sectors and other sectors. So they may not have a significant shortfall in earning Forex.
When we spoke to Valmiki Arjun, I'd asked him that question. Why is it the rest of the Caribbean doesn't have this problem? And but beyond the tourism, and that they get so much tourist dollars in comparison to us, what he stated was that Trinidad and Tobago is by far more industrialized than the rest of the Caribbean. And because we are more industrialized, there is a lot of more foreign exchange required for inputs in that industrialization. So he said, for example,
all the time?
So he said, for example, our Trinidad and Tobago manufacturing sector, there's a lot of foreign exchange demand that comes from
because the inputs they use in the products and services are foreign.
He said, which is not a demand that the other islands would have. They wouldn't have that kind of demand from the industries that require foreign exchange.
Okay.
People just have the general personal demand and business demand that's on everyday business. But we have all of those extra points pressing on the foreign exchange button.
But we always had it. What caused the problem? Something happened.
If you always
have increasing. As the main earner, that's what caused the problem.
Because if more people are buying stuff on Amazon, it means the demand for Forex is increasing. But it also is in the context that we are earning less Forex. So add the supply and demand. It's more than one layer.
I'm hearing that, you know. I'm hearing that. But there must be an example to be taken of what someone else would have done. You understand? Because we clearly two stories recently pointed to a particular period. When Wendell Motley and Dr. Bob spoke, they pointed to a particular period. I think Dr. Marlene asked also to point it to a particular period. What happened in 2013 that changed this and made it so bad? What happened? Nobody is explaining what happened. Nobody is saying what happened then.
I think it's a confluence of different things.
I don't think it's just one thing.
It's not one thing. It's a confluence of different things that have impacted the situation that has led us to this position here now. And Lester Craig, well, I agree with you.
But I don't blame
I have no data to support it. And I asked Dr. Atz and Professor Hussein about it. And they said they have no data, so they don't want to comment on it. But I think that a lot of businessmen are pumping money out of the country for safety reasons.
And Lester Cragwell, I don't blame them. Honestly, I don't.
I am of that firm belief. I see somebody who in this country millions and millions of dollars posing with 2 horses that win in the US recently.
Canada.
Wherever.
Woodbury.
Wherever. And horse ain't cheaper.
And horse ain't cheap.
Well, he doesn't own it. He doesn't own it personally. The company owns it.
Oh.
So
Richard,
let's separate the legal.
Richard Ragoobarsingh, that is my entire defense. So don't go there at all. Don't go there at all. Right? Don't go there.
Yeah. But it's a lot of different things that are present. In addition to which, Trinidadians and Tobagonians have by far become more savvy with the use of their credit cards.
Yeah.
So
the average person buying things online and bringing, not
only that, we have become accustomed now to the fact that we can get some things cheaper if we bring them in.
Yeah.
And you have the infrastructure now through all of the courier service companies that provide a seamless way in which you can get stuff at a reduced cost than you would pay for it if you had to pay for it in Trinidad and Tobago.
Richard, which has an impact on local merchants and retailers.
But it has created so many other business opportunities for people too.
Yeah, but it has also caused a price decrease in terms of some merchants in certain sectors. They've had to bring down their prices to compete with the Amazon and the Temu and the Shein purchases and stuff. And of course, Amazon is not far behind because Amazon just launched Haul, Haul, which is in beta right now, but they have launched Haul as part of an Amazon company to compete with Temu and Shein.
Yes.
So that's a new company that's now people are going to go to because they are competing directly with Temu and Shein. So of course the prices are ridiculously low. So a lot of people are going to start checking out Haul.
Just now we're going to have Black Friday sales here, right here in Trinidad.
We have it already.
Smart has those things already, in courts and things.
Yeah. Courts having a big Black Friday sale.
We want Rumbox to have a Black Friday sale. That's what we want.
Rumbox we have a Black Friday sale every Friday, brother. Just come.
That's why your politicians visiting you.
The other day I had a whole set of them. Everybody will come Rumbox just now with elections coming. With elections in the air, everybody going and pass by Rumbox, All used to make style.
Who's making style?
Plenty of them is make style. When I'm ready, I see Laurel Lezama Leasing put out a post on Facebook yesterday. I say, inbox me. So we had a nice inbox chat. If anybody could have hacked my phone now.
Well, guys, let's open up our telephone lines a little bit. It is 35 minutes after the hour of 7 o'clock. Let's grab some calls. Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning to the breakfast crew.
Morning.
Morning, Tinto.
Good morning. Yeah, morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Yeah, Wendell, this is for you, man. I think I found the solution to your sinus problem. There is a plant that grows here in North America. It's called mullen. I think it's mullen. And I am 100% sure that will fix it. You can order it on Amazon dry and use it as a tea. Actually, Denise has been using it and she swears by it. She never believed that anything natural could do anything that great for her.
All right.
Check it out, okay?
Mullen, okay. So, Paul, remember that name, Mullen.
Send you a picture of it. Yeah, I'll send you a picture of it as well.
What does mullen do?
It helps with the sinus.
The sinus.
Yeah, it has a lot to do with, it helps to clear your nasal breathing. Go after the mucus. If you have a bad cold, it's good for that. The flowers, you could put it to soak in virgin coconut oil or virgin olive oil for 6 weeks, and you can apply it to earache or any medical use for muscle pain as well.
All right. Interesting.
So I'll send a picture of you, and you guys have a great weekend. Always enjoy the show, guys. You're a great team. Love it.
Yeah, too. Take care.
All right. Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, guys.
Morning, Diego.
Good morning.
I want to commend the police officers in the West End police station this morning for a job well done. They captured, I think it's three or two of the guys who shot the 3 guys in Hillier Street in Diego Martin. I must say congratulations to them. Keep up the good work. You all have a blessed weekend.
All right.
Take care.
Many happy.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
So look forward to a little in-studio para.
Yeah, I spoke to Elisa yesterday. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Steve. Good morning, Dr. Paul.
Good morning.
Good morning, Wendell. And good morning to Richard.
I don't know why as I heard your voice, I thought about why I'm not seeing Cyril on the highway yet.
Cyril there.
Good morning.
6 or 25.
Where?
By Baratarium.
Okay.
I'm
from the roundabout and exiting from the meeting. Yeah.
So I find this forex problem issue is a serious issue because more and more people using foreign money because some people have the children abroad and they have to send money as well for them. So that is a big problem.
Mm-hmm.
And they have to buy it on the black market because the cambio up in the airport is over $8 for a US, right? And
that's ridiculous.
People, I think so, and people they have no other choice more than to buy it because of what is transpiring now. So I mean, I could understand a little of it because the reduction of our energy sector has created that wide gap. I find there's a very wide gap in such a short space of time. So I don't think that will change soon either because the energy sector is not going to get any better. Plus, the manufacturer CTMA has to use a lot of foreign money too, So I think this thing will go on. And Paul, you asked if this might be an election issue. I think it would be. Because
but Ms. Davide, it stands to reason. If our energy sector has contracted, that we are doing less in energy, does not mean that we are also spending less. Maybe earning less, but does not mean concurrent with earning less, we are spending less. Something is wrong, and why are people not saying?
Why would your premise of your argument is very off?
But that's simple accounting 101.
It's accounting 101. It's accounting 101 if people doing sensible things, but there are people and countries who earn less and continue to spend at the same level and get themselves in debt. That's why they have a word called debt.
That is what happening. Yeah, I believe that too. Another thing too. I mean, people will say, remember when NR came into power and they banned the importation of apples, grapes, and all these things? I mean, I know it's a global thing now. Why can't we go back to that again and let us stop that foreign exchange going back to these types of products what people use? I know some people love their expensive foreign things, but look at the problem we have now. It's affecting a lot of people. People who it wasn't affecting, say, 15, 20 years down the road. It is affecting right now.
I can answer the question because the business community ain't taking that.
Mm-hmm. But then the other courage, every day is that, every day that's in the news, every day is a front burner topic.
Yeah, but plenty times people buy a lot of the stuff that they like themselves, Paul. It's not necessarily through the business community.
But I find we could stop some of these foreign things. When I go to, and most of the time, I just go to Mako. I don't buy these things. I go to some of the groceries in the West because up in the East, and there's some of them things. I go to for fastness. I go to some groceries down in the West just to Mako. Yeah. And some of the things I see there, I cannot believe it. I say, what? Why we have these things? Why we have this? Why we have that? Why can't we just cut out those things for a change? Just to get things back on even keel, But anyway, you all have a wonderful weekend.
All right.
I'm calling for a long time because I feel so tired these days. I get it up very late. When you all gone, I now waking up.
Tired from baking bread?
All right. Thank you, Ms. Davidi.
Huh? All right. A lot of things. Okay.
All right. I hear you.
Good morning, caller.
Morning, gentlemen. How you guys doing?
Hey, Captain Ron. How is San Francisco?
Dark here. After 3?
Yeah.
3:44 something. Listen, I just wanted to call and talk about the security people at Seattle Airport. And I have had run-in with them at multiple occasions and many other black pilots, and I'm emphasizing black pilots. Many times I've walked through there. I'm the only black pilot among 4 other white pilots. And they stopped me. I'm the only one they stopped. It happened since back in 1990, something like 93 or 92 or something. And it happened to me. I think the problem is they need to give what most of these officers are suffering from. They're suffering from an inferiority security complex. And they feel they can only challenge people that they feel that look like them, the same color of them. And I've noticed that many occasions. And some of the other white pilots have the same thing. They need to give these people in the training process before they cut them loose and put them out there. They need a psychological training for them. Because that incident there, where he grabbed another immigration officer, that's a total distraction where could have caused other people things to happen. In the US, he would have been charged, not just fired. He would have been charged for doing something like that. They have to understand that we are all airline employees, all airport employees, no matter what part of the spectrum you are. You see?
Captain Ron, someone said it may have been a personal issue, but even if it's a personal issue, to all the way till all the meet in the car park, you know what I mean? How you could do that in an airport?
But I don't think it was a personal issue, Wendell, because the chief immigration officer in her response to her staff indicated that it's a growing trend of escalation between security officers and them.
Wow.
Yes,
really?
So in other words, it's not just the immigration of the security officers themselves are a problem. It's like they're just picking people up off the street. I don't know what kind of qualifications they have. And they just put them there without any kind of proper training. You need to be an officer. You have to go through a psychological test. That you mustn't fear anybody because of different colors. And when somebody appears to look like you, doesn't mean that you measure them at yourself and then you can just challenge them like that. Many times I have to ask them, one guy, I was in Patrick Street and I saw one of the security officers at the airport. I challenged him. I said, why do you all behave that way? I mean, I'm overseas. I stand up for you guys when other people are saying all the crazy things. And I've witnessed it myself. And whoever's in charge need to change it, or the government needs to get in and train these people before they cut them loose on other people, because all kinds of people are going through these things. Anyway, guys, you have a good week and be down there.
All right. Safe flying, Captain Ron.
Well, to me, it has to come under the management of the airport itself by the airports authority, because the airport authority has to be vigilant at all forms of customer service interactions from all branches and speak to those branches heads if need be. So, for example, if immigration officers are too sour, the Airport Authority management have to be vigilant about the customer service experience at the airport because you are the overall hierarchical manager. So you're supposed to have a quality chief immigration officer and say, look, can you have some training with your officers because we are getting complaints vis-a-vis, same thing with customs, vis-a-vis the security. So if you're having issues, you have to manage it because you're in charge of the facility. And it's a customer service oriented facility.
Yes.
That you can get bad feedback internationally as to the reputation of the country.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something, as I say, part of that story is missing because I can't see somebody just walking away from, well, whatever happened, somebody's walking away from you and you walk up to them and put them in a headlock just so an immigration officer.
It goes with what Richard said. The response from the official said it's part of a growing trend, an escalation of aggression. But I don't care if it's an immigration officer, whoever it is. The protocol cannot be that you follow the person and put them in a headlock.
Nah, that person not mental issues, man. That sounds like a mental thing.
Yeah, we have some calls.
Go and get colleagues if you think the person
not only that, in front of passengers.
And
in front of public, yes. In front of passengers.
Crazy.
Madness. Good morning.
This is World Mental Month.
Yes, good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Good morning.
Before I forget, Wendell, I'd like to find out where you could get the ashwagandha, drugstore or herb shop. And
most herb shops.
But some drugstores sell them too.
Okay. I haven't gotten mine from a drugstore. I got mine from those sidewalk, those guys who go around selling products and so on.
Yeah. And this thing with the foreign exchange. Miss Atso, what she named, made an example. If every Trinidadian spend $1 per day, which we know everybody wouldn't spend $1, but the amount of people that would purchase online, it could be proportional because they buy more. The amount of foreign exchange that they use, it could be proportional to some people spending $1 per day. Then we have a fall in foreign exchange income. Then we have business people with a very high demand using foreign exchange, banking foreign exchange outside, not letting it come back in the country. That is going to have a telling effect. The only thing I think that one of the things that I think the government should do is to try to get some of these people that pay taxes, pay in foreign money, and that may ease up. But one of this issue, yes, you see business people depositing money outside of the country. That I think that is a big, and then they complaining about Forex. But a lot of them banking the money outside, and that is a big problem. You're looking at it just so, but that's a big issue because you're buying also your output is greater than your input. The efficiency going to fall. Okay, gentlemen.
All right. We have 9 minutes again to take your calls. 222-8255, toll-free North Americans, 866-525-1099. I was just reminded, whatever happened to Ms. Maloney? She hasn't called in eons.
And Mr. Patrick.
Mr. Patrick hasn't called for the week.
Mr. Patrick called already this week.
He did.
Just as an update, those ugly big yellow boards that had that advertisement around Arima have been removed. I don't know if it's
Richard from Mayor of Arima. Richard from Mayor.
I don't know if it's because of this show or somebody was just tired and mashed it up.
But have you noticed, Paul and Richard, Steve, you may have noticed this too, right? There's a new supermarket building on the Mount Hope there, right by Paul. Huge building in that empty space there opposite Standards. I think it's
been there for a while.
Yeah, no, it's a huge supermarket. It's now going up.
Wait, hold on.
The new building.
That's now building. Yes.
So they put in a supermarket next to a supermarket?
Yeah, I think this is remember the name now. It has a name. There's one in Diego Martin too.
True Value?
No, not True Value.
Massey?
No, not the big names like that.
LB, wait, name again?
Extra Foods?
No.
Why is the name coming top of my tongue?
I had the name just the other day. You know why?
Westbees?
Westbees.
Yeah.
It's a Westbees apparently going there, right? But on the bus route recently, Food Basket put up a set of advertising billboards right outside where the construction taking place. Have you all noticed that?
No.
Well, the billboards are behind Food Basket itself.
So there's a Food Basket there also?
Yes, there's a Food Basket a little lower down.
Yeah.
Well,
so it's Food Basket and Westby's next to each other.
I didn't even know that. So
yeah, there's a Food Basket a little lower down.
Yeah.
Oh.
I've been inside there. That's where I met Julia S. Batiste.
Oh, okay.
That's where I met
Really?
her.
Okay.
That Food Basket.
Yeah, I go in there sometimes. Once in a while I go in
Is
there.
that where the Tobagonian supermarket was?
I don't know about all of that now.
What was the popular chain of a
supermarket? You going down like another road now.
No.
All I know is I have a Food Basket there.
No, what was the name of the supermarket in Tobago? The popular name
Penny
of
Savers?
Penny Savers. Wasn't that a Penny Savers there?
No.
I don't know what you're talking about.
There was a different supermarket there, but it's not Penny Savers. And it didn't work very well.
Yeah.
Because their stock was really poor quality.
Yeah.
We're talking about where
Food Basket is?
But Food Basket has a clientele.
It was American stores that was there where Food Basket is now.
American
stores. More supermarket, imagine
American stores like they're closing up shop. I see they're doing something in St. James. I don't even see a sign anymore.
I think they've sold out or closed down, you know. I think they sold out or something like that, yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
But I didn't know Westby's. That's going to be one huge Westby's, though.
It is huge.
It's huge.
Mm-hmm. Supermarket business working, man.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was going to be a court.
And they obviously getting foreign exchange.
Right, opposite standards.
Yeah,
you thought it, I know.
So you're like, which one to go to, boy?
Well, whoever have more parking and standard have real parking.
Standard have real parking.
Let me say good morning to Amoy out at Standards. Good morning, Amoy. All right, we have a call coming through. Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning.
Big guy, what's going on?
Okay. I hear this thing you all speaking about the Forex problem. But what has happened in the last 4 reports from the IMF, not the most recent one, the 3 before that, the IMF has always said, and Dr. Imbud has spoke about it, that, Trinidad is stable and everything is stable and nice. But at the end of each report, they all report said, Trinidad has to do something about Forex, the Forex problem. And it seems like, well, the only part of the report that the minister paid attention to was Trinidad is stable, the economy is stable, because it's getting worse and worse. And it seems to me, and there's only a simple mathematical solution to this. You increase your foreign exchange, foreign exchange earnings, or you decrease the spending. There's no big rocket science about this. It's one-on-one, it's always two. And until you do that, nothing will change. They've got to find a way to increase your revenue, your foreign exchange revenue. And now, can I say something about the President-elect of America? I would like to extend my profound appreciation and thanks, and I'm being very sarcastic here, to all those gentlemen of my complexion who voted for that president-elect. You know why? Yesterday his pick for the person in charge of health. He's not even a doctor, never had medical experience, Mr. Kennedy. No, he is totally against vaccination. He said vaccines don't work. So thank you, gentlemen, for that. Also, the one for Attorney General, he has sexual charges against him for having sexual child under 17.
Mm-hmm.
What he did to avoid that, he resigned from Congress, so that investigation
now
has
dropped.
stopped at that point. Right. And
Yeah,
the
that
other
was a
one now-
plan. For sure, that was a plan.
Right. And then the other one now, the one for the Pentagon. For the Pentagon, gentlemen, is a combat soldier. All his experience is combat, nothing else. So again, thank you to all those gentlemen of my complexion, and I'm a black man, who voted for the president-elect of America. And there was one who called in. I don't understand this one. Dr. Charles' program. And this is what he said. I'm a Democrat, but I voted for Trump to teach the Democrats a lesson. Thank you, sir. And you know who you are. Thank you, sir, for that. Gentlemen, have a beautiful weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Watch your blood pressure. Watch your blood pressure for the next 4 years.
Donald Trump is going to do
Right, big
what
guy.
Donald Trump wants to do.
All right.
And that's the
It's going to be 4 years.
Yep, it's going to be a rough ride, but you're going to feel it in the first 4 months. You ain't going to have to wait for 4 years, trust me.
Some people like rough rides, you know. Good morning, Zena.
It's going to be an interesting 4 years, I guess. I know Americans but Americans who are anti-Trump.
Well, look at how
Europe. People, there are millions of Americans who are pro-Trump.
Yes, we know that now. We knew that then.
I knew that before the election.
Right. So we knew that then, and we know it more now.
These results have surprised me. This is exactly what I told everybody who I spoke to about it. He was going to win. Because I understand how America is made. People need to differentiate the America they want it to be from what the America that actually is. And look at America's history, and Trump's victory should not surprise you at all.
I don't know.
America ain't changed that much.
I wish them the best.
People have gone into a sentimental view of America because of Barack Obama's presidency. But Barack Obama's presidency, though historic, did not change a lot of the underbelly of America.
Because of all this Illuminati talk and all that kind of crap.
And the racism and the discrimination and the inequality and stuff and the rich wanting to get richer while the poor getting poorer. It hasn't changed all of that. It was historic and it was wonderful, but it has not changed fundamentally who America is.
I hear my son.
I mean, Matt Gaetz as the Attorney General is an absolutely strange pick.
No kidding.
Trump is never going to go conventional.
You could not go conventional without being ridiculous. That's a ridiculous choice.
But ridiculous for you, the whole measuring reference point change.
And you know what they call it Elon Musk now?
So you have a man who does not believe in vaccination at all as the head of the as the Secretary of Health.
FDA.
Yeah, but watch me and what does that tell you? It's consistent with what Trump has been saying.
He did promise him a job,
and he doesn't have to go moderate now at all, you know. He could go extreme,
and he will go extreme.
And that's what he's doing. He doesn't have to prove anything to anybody.
Yep.
He can go extremely right now.
That's crazy.
And that's what he's doing. He's going extreme because I don't care about none of it. I can do what I want. And let me tell you something. He ain't said it yet, but given his pronouncements on immigration and if you could call it foreign policy, he is going to make, come January, a pronouncement on Nicolas Maduro. Remember I told you? And it's going to be a drastic pronouncement and a drastic foreign policy approach to Nicolas Maduro and Venezuela. Remember I told you?
I think it might even be worse than that.
Watch out. Dragon deal.
Okay.
Yeah, but I was just before we go, guess who's the first buddy? Has been coined as the first buddy.
Okay, Steve, that's not too hard to figure out. And don't get too excited. Everybody knows you're talking about.
Not everybody. Sorry, Paul. Elon Musk.
Wow. Revelation.
Paul, it doesn't mean that everybody know. There are some sectors that won't know. Let's say goodbye for the week. It's not a joke. Let's say goodbye for the week. Have a good weekend, everybody.
Next thing you know, two all end up in some headlock somewhere, you know. Watch it.
My arm too small for Steve head.
Richard, you can see two of them at 6 foot of a head locking one another.
How you getting past the belly to lock the head?
I want it to be while Boom is on air though.
Let's say goodbye, gentlemen. AV is here watching me. It's 8 o'clock.
Folks, have an absolutely wonderful
may I say congratulations to the backgrounds though. Your new background, Steve, and the background for AV for the new.
Yeah, it's easy, yeah.
Yeah, quite good.
Techie.
Good choices. Have a fantastic weekend, people. Remember to smile and laugh. It's great for your health.
All right, folks, have an absolutely wonderful weekend. Be careful on the roads. Look out for the young ones, and remember to let go and let God.
All right, let's get into our 8 o'clock news brief. AV Sunhill Bab is in.
This is your news bulletin from Power 102 Digital.
It is time for your news update to 8 o'clock. I'm Avril Sentinel Bab. Good morning. The setting up of a special police task force vetted by U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration, which will receive confidential information and intelligence in an effort to dismantle transnational crime, is one step closer to reality. 3 suspects allegedly involved in Wednesday's double homicide in Diego Martin have been captured. The suspects were apprehended during a coordinated operation executed by the officers of Western Division. The joint chambers call on the government to urgently take whatever action necessary to immediately resolve the ongoing industrial action causing chaos at the Port of Spain. It claims the lack of affirmative action on this matter is leading to a national crisis at a time of year when the volume of shipments is at its highest and makes it imperative the port operates efficiently. And cleanup work continues in several areas affected by flooding on Wednesday, according to the chairman of the Penal Devi Regional Corporation, Gautam Maharaj. We will have news in detail at 12 noon. This was your update to 8 o'clock. I'm Avril Sentinel Bab. Good morning.
Up to date and credible. Power 102 Digital.